And now I'm putting drawer pulls on the door so that they can open. I've already installed a drawer pull on the drawer at the top, but now it's time to go ahead and put some pulls onto the actual doors as well, so the doors open like that. The trick with cabinet doors is you want to make sure you put the door pull in exactly the same spot on every single door, because if they're misaligned, your eye will pick it up and it will look like an amateur job. So, again, you want to measure several times and then go ahead and drill a hole for our drawer pull. Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. First, you can use a tape measure, and you can measure the vertical and the horizontal, and you're not going to actually pick a center of the drawer or of the door. You're actually going to pick a certain spot. So I can measure down 2 inches here and then over 2 inches. And that would be pretty good, but sometimes the way the corners work, it's not really a 2-inch spot. As long as they're all on the same line, you don't have to be exact measurements. So I'll show you what I use instead. For doors, I'll use this thing called a hardware template. Okay, pretty generic name. But the way it works is this way. It's a plastic template that kind of rests on the corner of a door. And you look at it closely, and I don't know if you can see this, you got some little spots, and you can pick out one of these 5 spots where you want your drawer pull. The nice thing about this is once you pick one, you put a little pencil mark in, so 1, 2, 3, 4 over, I put a pencil mark, and then I pick it up, I flip it around the other drawer, on the other door, and I also go 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, and now when I pull it away, I now have 2 dots that are exactly in the same spot on the same door. If your doors are misaligned, obviously, the drawer pulls will be misaligned. If the drawers are tilted or slanted, your knobs will also be slanted. Now that I actually have the marks on my cabinet doors for where I'm going to put the cabinet drawer pulls, I'm going to go ahead and take my drawer pull and a little screw, and I'm going to figure out exactly what I need to do to get this drawer pull here. I need to take the screw, I need to figure out how big of a hole I need to go ahead and drill to put this through. A couple ways of doing this. Here's one way. Take the screw and kind of hold it up. Take a drill bit and kind of hold it up like that right behind the screw, and you're going to look to see if you can see the threads, or if the drill bit's a little bit bigger than the threads, you probably have about the right size. Another way of doing this is to use this thing called a drill bit gauge. And all it really is a little piece of plastic with a bunch of little holes in it, and you just take your screw and you just kind of put it into each hole until you find one that fits. And there we go, it'll fit fine in 11/64, and this one will fit fine in 5/32 as well. I'm going to go 5/32 because my other drawer pull is the same way. I'm going to go 5/32, so I'll go ahead and that goes in and out just fine. So when I go ahead and I drill a hole, everything should work fine. The screw will go from behind, the drawer pull goes on top, and screws right in. So now that I have my mark, I have my drill bit here, now I'm going to go ahead and drill my hole. So I'll open it up, I'll make sure there's nothing behind it, like my finger. And here we go. I want to drill as straight and as even as possible. There we go. Now that I have a hole in my cabinet door, I'm going to go ahead and take my screw and my drawer pull and put them together. So I open the door, and I put the screw in from behind, and it's sticking out a little bit there. Now I take my drawer pull, and I simply go ahead and I screw it on. You may want to, you may be able to finger tighten it, or you may want to pull a screwdriver behind this to make sure that the screw doesn't spin in place. Like my screw is spinning there, so I'll take a little screwdriver, and I'll go ahead and reach behind and tighten. And there we go. Now it's tight.